Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark neighborhood naturally occurring retirement community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
I'll come in a couple rounds of seated exercises from our chair, a couple rounds of standing exercises next to our chair, using the chair as ballast, as a balance support, bringing in lots of different movement paradigms, classic exercises, bits of yoga and qigong, different things like that, all carrying us to the end where we settle into a good meditation for about 15 minutes. And today we're going to do a mantra meditation with a poem, which is something I love to do in my own practice and something I love to share with you. So I definitely encourage you to have some water, take in sips throughout. Encourage you as always to be gentle with yourself, be adaptable, listen to the whispers of your body, listen to what your body's telling you about what you can handle. If you're in it, if you're feeling good, feeling strong, give yourself to that movement, give yourself to that exercise. You need a little bit of a break. If it's not feeling right now, take a step back, do something different, mix it up, whatever it is. So we'll start off just getting warmed up. We're going to move from the bottom of our body up to the top. So we'll move through our body with a couple different movements I like. As always, if any of these movements feel good to you, feel fun, feel relaxing, enjoyable, take them into your own practice throughout the week. I don't own them, just sharing what I've been given as a gift myself. So we'll start from the floor. We're going to keep our feet flat on the floor. And I just want to do some gentle heel circles. So whatever's a good range of motion while your heel and your whole foot is staying flat on the floor, just getting some gentle range of motion going, sitting towards the front of our chair, upright, good posture. I'll move back so you can see my feet a little bit. And we're just going to create a gentle little circle with our foot flat on the floor. So our foot is staying flat on the floor, and we're just going to trace whatever gentle circle range of motion feels good to us. Just getting the body moving. Trying to think of our posture, think of our breath. Extend that circle, wider circles possibly as you're feeling more warmed up. Nice and slow here. And then let's switch up to the right foot. So again, our whole foot is staying flat on the floor. If you got shoes on or however you're working out and if there's some friction between you and the floor, definitely just pick that foot up a little bit off the floor. But we want to imagine we're keeping our foot nice and flat as we go through this circle. Gentle range of motion. Getting wider as we're feeling more warmed up. And then let's switch back to the left leg. And this time I was doing sort of outward circles from my body. Now come inward. So try to move the opposite direction you were moving last time. Just stirring the pot down here with our foot. Starting to wake our bodies up. Again, the hip, the toes, the ankle, the quads, the hamstrings. Getting all that moving. And then let's switch to the right leg. Trying to do the opposite direction from the circle last time. Sitting upright throughout, good steady breathing, big smiles on our face, letting our body enjoy this experience this time. And we'll pause there, shaking things out between the movements, getting loose, taking deep breaths, getting a sip of water if we need it. This is your workout. I'm giving you some content. You turn that into the experience you want to have. Moving up through our body, one of my favorite stretches, just getting the hamstring warmed up through our chest. We're going to stick our foot out, try to keep our heel, foot flat on the floor. We're just going to do a gentle bend over at our chest, our left leg's out, and we're going to feel that gentle stretch through our hamstring, down through our calf muscle, foot flat on the floor, gentle bend over, trying to keep our back flat. Hopefully you can breathe gently throughout. We're just getting warmed up. Shouldn't feel stressful or like you're killing yourself yet. Gentle stretch, easing into our movement. And then bring that left foot in nice and gently, kicking the right foot out. Again, foot trying to stay flat on the floor, getting that leg close to straight if we can. But with the foot flat on the floor, that range of motion will be a little bit different from the other way we do this. Sometimes we point our toe to the sky, just keeping our foot flat on the floor today. Gentle bend over at the chest, trying to keep a good flat back. My chest is still out. I'm still upright. I can talk to you. I can look at you. We don't want to be slumped over. Gentle stretch through the hamstring. Gentle stretch down through the calf. And then bring that right leg back in. And let's kick the left leg out again. And this time we're going to bend over. My favorite way to mix this stretch up a little bit, to add a little bit something to it. Reach up overhead. Look up at your palm, reaching up towards the sky. Stretching through our chest, opening up that rib cage, the side of that body. But still you're feeling the stretch down through your leg. And then bring that right arm down, bring that left leg back in. Right leg's going to go out now. Foot flat on the floor if we can. If the toes come off or if you need to change it up a little bit, that's fine. Gentle bend over at the chest, flat back. Reaching up with our left arm now, overhead. Trying to make eye contact with that palm. You can see my palms facing out to you. Opening up my chest, my rib cage, my side. Looking up to the sky. Excellent. Returning back to center. Always shaking things out in between, getting loose. Moving up through the body. We're going to do cross body chops. Keeping our hands together throughout this exercise and a number of exercises we're doing today. And then being able to move our shoulders and our back while our hands are in that classic prayer position, hands together. Those are some movement paradigms we're going to work on today. So we're just going to start off with some cross body chops. Hands together. Reach up to your upper left. And then reach down to your lower right. Upper left to lower right. Hands trying to stay together. Bring it in tight to your body across the center. And then reach out to where you could get your range of motion. Trying to keep good posture throughout. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm not compensating too much from my legs. The movement is coming from the center of my body, my arms and my shoulders. Okay, and then let's switch up, upper right to lower left. Wherever you could get to while you're keeping those palms together and letting the movement feel as natural and comfortable as possible. You'll find you can move more deeply As we do more reps, the body's getting comfortable. You're telling your body, okay, we can start moving. We're feeling warmed up. We're feeling happy. We're feeling safe. And then we start to get a little bit more range of motion. And that's what we're doing today. And good pause there. Shake everything out, getting loose, big smiles, drinking water throughout, good deep breaths, good posture, moving up through our body again, completing that progression from our heels up through the top of our body. We're going to keep our hands together. We're going to bring them overhead. If you've done yoga before, just drawing on some simple yoga movements here, we want our biceps to stay as close into our ears as we can without a strain, comfortable as always. And then we're just going to lean over to our right, trying to keep a good upright posture throughout, still imagining reaching up to the sky, gently leaning over to the right, good stretch on this left side of our body through the whole rib cage, the whole side of our body. Hands are staying together. And as we exhale, that's a good time to go a little bit more deep into the stretch. So trying to breathe steady, deeply throughout. And as you exhale, that's a good time to go a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then good, return to center. Let the arms fall gently to the side, coming back to center. So just drawing on a little bit of a yoga paradigm here. If you're familiar with yoga and you got a good yoga coach, teacher, guru, bring their concepts, their teachings, their approach in here. I find these movements useful, so I work them into my workout and just want to share them with you. We'll go over to the other side now. So bring your arms up overhead, palms coming together, biceps close into the ear, reaching over to our left side, gently at first. Good posture. We want to be staying upright. It's tempting to slump over, trying to stay upright and reach over to the left. Feeling that stretch on the outside of our body, right side up through the rib cage, the side, the hips. Hopefully you're breathing steadily. And as you exhale gently, that's a good time to go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Then good, return to center. Let those arms fall gently to the side. And that's a great warm-up for us. Some more contemporary movements, modern movements, also drawing on the great paradigms of yoga and all the classic movement and exercise philosophies that are good for me in my life. Now we're going to move into our Tabata workout, starting with the seated. We like to do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, just about. I'll give you those intervals. You try to do the movements as best as you can. I'll give you some tips on variations, adaptations if we need them, and give yourself the movements and work up over the course of the workout. So we just got a little warm on this first set of seated Tabata. Maybe you give it 80%, something like that, 70%, and then you work up to those 100% sets by the end when we're standing. Our first set of seated Tabata workout will be, we'll start off with a nice march. So just get it marching from our chairs, getting those elbows and those knees as high as we can, nice and simple. Second movement, drawing on some of that Qigong philosophy, one that I sort of created though, I think. Good morning yawn, hands coming up through in front of our face, reaching out like we're yawning nice and big overhead. And then we'll turn that into a nice circular flow, turning that into a standing movement by the end of the workout. Third exercise is going to be our Flutter Kicks. Classic favorite movement here, trying to keep constant movement for 40 seconds. Fourth movement will be our dragon dance, coming back to that prayer position. And we're going to follow the dragon, follow the tail of the dragon. And again, we'll turn that into a standing movement in our second workout, part of the workout. And then fifth exercise will be squat to stand. So we're going to come up out of our chair and use our chair as a nice foundation for squatting. Okay, those are our 5 exercises. I'll give you some variations if we need them throughout, but let's jump into it together. We're going to be working for 40 seconds with a nice high march. Elbows coming nice and high, knees coming nice and high, sitting towards the front of our chair, upright and alert, good posture, big smiles. Let's jump into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so getting those elbows nice and high, knees nice and high, marching in our chair. Again, slower pace if you're still getting warmed up. But if you've cracked a sweat, if the breath is flowing a little bit more vigorously, then certainly get into this as good as you feel you are able to. Steady breathing throughout, good posture, guys. We know all the cues. Let's work hard for 3, 2, 1. We're going to pause for 20 seconds, rest. Big part of Tabata is learning to work hard and rest hard. Use these 20 seconds. Our next movement is going to be our favorite good morning yawn. So imagine the big sort of cartoon style yawn you see characters doing in cartoons. That's what I'm thinking of here. Palms are facing our face, reaching up overhead and then pushing out to the side. And we're going to create a nice circular flow with that, starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so starting slow if you need to. Finding a nice rhythmic flow. Big parts are that the palms come into your face and then you push out when you're at the top. Palms come in, push out at the top. Just finding this rhythm for right now, getting the shoulders warmed up through their full range of motion. Getting the chest opened up, getting the back involved. And we'll take a break on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. 20 seconds of rest. Use this time for a drink. Control your breath. Train your deep breathing at this point. Our next movement is going to be Flutter Kick. I'll turn to the side just to show you. I'm using my chair for support. If you don't need that and you can keep your arm up here, that's great. But if you need to use your chair for support, trying to lean back, get the legs out in front, and we're going to do constant movement for 40 seconds with our Flutter Kicks. Let's start that together in 3, 2, 1. This gets the core involved, guys. Tougher for me to talk throughout this workout right here, but still keeping our quads engaged. Those will start screaming at some point too. And work hard on that for 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Classic basic movements here. If you've been with me for a while, we've been doing these a lot. These are some of my favorites. And just pushing hard on them today. Next movement will be the dragon dance. This is coming out of sort of a qigong paradigm. Hands together. We're going to follow the tail of the dragon. The mindset I like to be in for this movement is thinking about all my major joints, my wrist, my finger muscles, my elbow, my shoulder, and all the different ways they could be in relationship to each other and exploring those relationships. That's the idea of this movement for me. Explore it yourself and see what it does for you. Hands are going to come together and we'll start together in 3, 2, 1. So sitting upright and alert. We're just following the tail of the dragon, an improvisational movement, almost like a dance. Explore where you want the movement to go, starting in tight, but then as we get warmed up, explore the fullness of the movement. Have fun with it. See which way your wrists can go, your elbows, your shoulders. Make sure you're getting your back muscles involved, but all the while it's a nice, easy flow. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. Dragon dance. Fun improvisational movement. Good flow to that. We'll increase the intensity as we go. Last up, squat to stand. If you're still feeling a little cold, maybe you could just do leg extensions. if you're not ready to do a squat to stand. But if you're ready to do a squat to stand with me, we're going to be sitting towards the front of our chair, using our chair to train that good squatting pattern, trying not to use our hands to push up, trying to get into and out of this chair with good posture. I'll show you that from the side in a moment, but let's jump into 40 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so coming up, good squat form, trying to keep our hands out in front if we can. Taking this nice and slow if you're still warming up. To show you this from the side, you guys keep working. Okay, using that chair, good support, good squat form. And we'll take a pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Okay, returning to sitting, guys. Shaking things out. Taking a little bit longer of a break now between sets. That was our first set of seated Tabata. I did a lot of explanation throughout, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. We'll tighten up those intervals on this second round. Hopefully you know the movements now. Increase the intensity if you can. If you're feeling warmed up, give yourself a little bit more to the movement. But always a good reminder, it's a good time to grab a drink of water. Excellent. So we got our 5 movements, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, giving a little bit more intensity to these movements, a little bit more range of motion. However, you can increase the sense of you participating fully in this workout. That's what we're looking for on this second set. So let's jump into our good marches, sitting towards the front of our chair, good posture, reaching high, getting into a good rhythm here. And let's start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, opposite leg, opposite arm. Good walking mechanics. Our body likes to work in sort of coils, drawing on the different sides of our body. And that's why we march, walk with sort of our opposite arm working with our opposite leg. Keep working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. 20 seconds of rest. Next up is good morning yawn. Good posture. We're going to incorporate the legs a little bit more when we're standing, but for right now, getting those arms, that chest involved, loosening up, warming up, opening up the whole chest, shoulder, back structure. And so let's jump into that. Palms into our face, pushing out overhead, coming back in. Let's start into that in 3, 2, 1. Nice circular rhythm here. Reach up nice and high. Push out to the side. Bring the palms back into the face. If this feels nice and you want to turn it into an alternating exercise, if that feels comfortable, certainly a way to add some difficulty to this. Good, and work hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. 20 seconds of rest. Then we have our flutter kicks, incorporating the quads in a good way, incorporating the core, trying to brace our core with good posture while our legs do all the work. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that. But we'll jump into flutter kicks together in 3, 2, 1. So if you could keep your arms out in front, that's a great challenge to the core. If you need the support, you can hang on to your chair if you need it. Pushing hard gear, guys, for 10 more. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. That always gets me going. I need to learn to breathe a little bit more steadily throughout. I could tell that after I'm pretty winded, which means I'm not bringing enough relaxation to the movement. So good little note for me to remind myself. Next up is going to be that dragon dance, following the tail of the dragon. Imagining this is the tail and letting it take you where it goes, trying to get your shoulders, your wrists, your elbows to move in all sorts of new ways. Have fun with it, get into a good flow. Starting from that good upright prayer position, let's do follow the dragon dance in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now second set, we're feeling a little bit more warmed up. We could get a little bit wider with the movement. Bring those elbows up nice and high. Bring the wrists up nice and high. Reaching up overhead. Getting the core involved. We could reach down low out to the sides. See all these different ways my shoulders, my wrists, my elbows can move. As we all get older, that range of motion limits itself, gets shorter. This is bringing us back into that nice wide range of motion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending back in a good prayer position. Teaching our body to be dynamic and fluid and mobile again. That's the idea of that dragon tail. Follow the dragon tail. Next up, we got squat to stand in a few seconds. Good tip maybe for people who feel proficient in this. Try sort of a different squat form. You're a pretty narrow squatter. You like to squat from here more. Try to go out a little wider. If you find yourself always squatting very wide, try to bring your legs in a little bit. Do something a little different for your squat form here, while maintaining good upright posture and using our legs to get out of this chair. Let's do that together in 3, 2, 1. Finish strong with the glutes, bring the hips through. Full range of motion on this. We get into and out of chairs possibly for many of us throughout the day. How often are we doing it with good form? Can we train ourselves now to have good form so when we're getting into and out of our car, our desk, our couch, whatever it is, we have just a little bit better of that squat form. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Take a pause here. That's our second set of seated. We're going to move to standing in a moment. Always a good time to grab a drink of water. So let's transition to standing. I'm going to raise my camera a moment. Okay, as always, guys, that chair is there for support, safety. If you feel like you need the help for balance, use it, have it next to you, have it in front of you, wherever it feels best, that it helps you to feel most comfortable as we move into the standing portion. Similar to the first round, trying to get better, more proficient at these basic movement paradigms. We're going to go into a nice big march, bringing those elbows up nice and high. Imagine we're marching sort of in order with a bunch of other people, nice steady rhythm. The next up is that yawn, but we're going to get into a nice crouching horse stance, wide crouching, gets the quads involved. And then we'll do the morning yawn from here. Okay, and again, if you got the coordination, you could turn it into alternating movement. That'd be a fun way to add something to this. Third movement is going to be forward kicks. So we liked those kicks last time. So if you can, stand and without using balance, kick out. That's fine. I would love that. If you need the chair for balance throughout, you could do that as well. Okay. Either one on that. Kicking out. We were doing sort of roundhouse kicks last time I was with you. Kicking out this time. Fourth movement from that crouch, dragon dance. Okay, we'll get real deep into that. Fifth movement is just going to be our good balance hold. Love to finish on balance. We're going to bring each leg up to 90 degrees. Nice 90-90s. We're going to hold that for 40 seconds. I'll give you a few challenges throughout. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. We know these movements. Let me get my pants ready here. Okay, we're going to jump right into a march, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Bringing those elbows up nice and high. Knees coming up nice and high. Find a good rhythm for you that you could keep throughout, but trying to keep good, steady movement. Feeling our whole body involved with this. The arms are not just along for the ride. They're a part of our strength. They're a part of this movement. Your whole body works as one. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Next up in 20 seconds, we're going to have our good horse stance, good crouch, as low as you could go. If you're still not feeling the most warmed up, maybe you just come here a little bit. If you could get into a good wide one, that's what I'd love to see. We're going to do our good morning yawn. Palms facing into the face, legs involved this time. If we could turn it up into an alternating movement, that's an option here. I'll do that about halfway through. You do what feels best for you, starting in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. Big yawn overhead, warming up the shoulders, getting the triceps, the wrist, the biceps, all of the fingers involved. Feel the energy going out to the tips of your fingers. Fully engaging the body, pushing for 3, 2, 1. Good, pause there. Excellent, guys, excellent work. I'll do the alternating version on the next round. Our third exercise is going to be forward kicks. Okay, opposite arm coming with that kick. Whatever that means to you, okay? Even if it's just out there, that's fine. Let's stick with our left leg doing the kick. We'll get the right leg involved on the second set. If you need the support of the chair, that's fine. If it just becomes whatever it becomes for you, does not need to look like a full martial arts kick. Whatever you got coming out of your body today is great. I'm going to start with my left leg coming out, getting into that movement in 3, 2, 1. 40 seconds on this. Trying to keep good posture throughout, finding a good, comfortable rhythm. Okay, pausing if you need to reset yourself. If I'm moving too fast, you don't always need to go by my pace. Good form, good rhythm, strong kick. Remember, if you need to use that chair, the chair is always by your side. Let's push for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Take a pause there when you're ready. That's our left leg kick. We'll switch to the right leg next time. Next up in a few seconds is going to be that dragon dance. Okay, incorporating a good squat into it, getting improvisational with it, even getting the legs involved, exploring the full dynamic range of motion of the body. And we'll start that together in 3, 2, 1. Start in tight, and then bring it out. See where you could get to. Get the legs involved. Reach out up overhead. Whatever this movement feels good to you today, improv with it. Let's work in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good pause there. Excellent. Let's work that left leg extra hard. We just did the kicks a moment ago. Now we're going to hold good balance for 40 seconds, trying to get to good balance, trying to get to 90 degrees in the foot, 90 degrees in the knee, 90 degrees at the hip. Good upright posture. That's our goal. Holding that for 40 seconds, using the chair if you need it. Let's do that together in 3, 2, 1. Just holding our balance. If you feel very strong in balance and you have a more difficult way to do this, kicking your leg out might be difficult. Closing your eyes might be difficult. However, you can increase the difficulty that feels right for you is fine. Teaching an exercise class while practicing balance, another way of adding difficulty. Let's hold that for 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Good work. Balance, very difficult. Lots of people don't practice it. People falling, slipping, having difficulty walking. When you see many people walking, they shuffle their feet. They don't pick their feet up off the ground, trying to train our balance, our independence. Good time to grab a quick drink of water. We'll get right into our next standing set in just a moment. Going to keep the intervals a little short on this so we have plenty of time to meditate. Got a beautiful poem coming today. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with marching, 40 seconds of marching. Let's get right into it. 3, 2, 1. Nice high march. Adding a kick into it if you want. A little bit more difficulty, only if you're up for it. If you're just doing a march, that's fine. Always ways to add a little bit of something to a movement, make it a little bit more difficult. Let's work for 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. To push ourselves, I'm going to trim up some of the rest times, try to give you a full work set on this. But we're going to trim up some of the rest times, take some extra rest if you need it. Let's go right into our crouching yawn. Good crouch, horse stance, getting lower if we can, coming into the yawn movement. And 3, 2, 1. Reaching out up overhead, fully feeling the energy, reaching all the way out to our fingers. Palms always coming in front of the face, pushing out. If you could turn this into an alternating movement, another fun way to add something. But if you're just doing the original version, that's fine. Stick with it. Just be working hard all the way through here, guys. Let's work hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Quick breath, quick sip of water if you need it. Let's work that forward kick on our right leg. We got the chair if we need it. Right leg's coming out from right there, using the chair for balance. If you need it, let's jump right into it, pushing hard through in 3, 2, 1. Kicking out in front of us, guys. Ooh, I got to find myself. Being safe out there, everybody. If you need the chair for balance, if you need to take a break, that's fine. But if you're working hard with me, let's push through here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Almost there. A couple more exercises, then we're into our meditation. Let's move right into that dragon dance. This is a fun one. Breathing heavy, catching your breath if you need it. But if you're along with me, dragon dance in 3, 2, 1. Palms together. Starting inside, but then getting all the way, fully range of motion through our whole body. Following the tail of that dragon. Quads are engaged, feet are engaged, whole body moving as one. And pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. We'll finish on balance in just a few seconds. I want to give us plenty of time for meditation. So let's get that right leg up in the air, using our chair for extra support if we need it, but trying to get to 90-90 in 3, 2, 1. Oop. 90 degrees in the foot, 90 at the knee, 90 at the hip. Good upright posture, steadily breathing throughout, big smiles. Closing your eyes can make balance much more difficult. Let's hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. You take a quick moment to breathe, grab some water. I'm going to drop a poem into the chat and explain what we're going to do in a moment. Okay, I was having a little trouble getting the text into the chat, but you can click through to that link. And so if you're new, joining us here for the first time maybe, or the first couple weeks, one of the meditations I love to do is a mantra meditation, basically. And this is an ancient worldwide technique, part of many of the great traditions of the world in terms of spirituality, philosophy. Taking a short piece of a text, some prayer maybe, some poem, whatever it might be, and either listening for or being given a particular word or phrase to repeat, and to repeat generally along with maybe your breathing. And as you do that, you dive more deeply into that word or phrase and discover more about it. Learn more about yourself and why that word or phrase called to you. So I have a poem here from a poet, Pádraig Ó Tuama. He's actually a theologian. He's from Ireland, beautiful poet, works a lot in conflict resolution, dealt a lot with many of the historical difficulties in Ireland between, Northern Irish. I'm not fully versed in that, but I know he does a lot of work in that area. And he writes some beautiful poetry. So what we'll do is we'll find a good meditative posture. If you have a posture you like, cross-legged lotus position, certainly take that. But if not, I would encourage you to just have your feet flat on the floor. We want to be sitting upright and alert. And then I'll read the poem. And as I'm reading, I'd invite you to listen to just listen for a word or a phrase that calls out to you. Let yourself be affected and then sit with that effect. Don't try to find the right word or right phrase. Just let yourself be moved, and then we'll sit with that movement for about 10 minutes or so, during which you'll repeat that word or phrase gently to yourself. And then we'll see what comes out of that. If any distractions come up, a fear or worry, gently return to the word as an anchor, as an island, someplace to stand as a rock, and bring your attention and your awareness back to that word. And so this is How to Belong, How to Be Alone by Padraig Otuma. And on this reading, I'd invite you to listen for a word or phrase that touches your heart. It all begins with knowing nothing lasts forever. So you might as well start packing now. In the meantime, practice being alive. There will be a party where you'll feel like nobody's paying you attention. And there will be a party where attention's all you'll get. What you need to do is to remember to talk to yourself between these parties. And again, there will be a day, a decade, where you won't fit in with your body, even though you're in the only body you're in. You need to control your habit of forgetting to breathe. Remember when you were younger and you practiced kissing on your arm? You were on to something then. Sometimes harm knows its own healing. Comfort knows its own intelligence. Kindness, too. It needs no reason. There is a you telling you another story of you. Listen to her. Where do you feel anxiety in your body? The chest, the fist, the dream before waking, the head that feels like it's at the top of the swing, or the clutch of gut like falling and falling and falling and falling. It knows something. You're dying. Try to stay alive. For now, touch yourself. I'm serious. Touch yourself, take your hand, and place your hand someplace upon your body. And listen to the community of madness that you are. You are such an interesting conversation. You belong here. And so take any word or phrase that struck you, the first one that comes to mind, and then for a few minutes on your own, gently repeat that word or phrase to yourself. And if you find yourself distracted, return to that word or phrase. Breathing in deeply through your nose and gently out of your mouth. And if you find yourself distracted, just bring your awareness back to that word or phrase, like an anchor or a rock. And then when you're ready, begin gently to return to full awareness. Come back to full awareness of the room you're in, the space you're in. You could gently stretch in whatever way feels comfortable. You wiggle your fingers and your toes. And so the idea of a mantra is to be given typically, or to receive a word or a phrase around which you anchor your prayer, your meditation. We only did it for a few minutes here. So I encourage you on your own at another time to take this poem, any poem, a prayer, if you have a particular religious tradition you feel comfortable with. Sit with that, read it a few times. I only read this once. It was a little bit longer and I wanted to give us quiet time. Read something a few times, then open yourself to being affected, to being surprised even. It might be a word or phrase you didn't expect, you didn't anticipate. Often when I do multiple sort of sessions with the same poem or prayer, a different thing strikes me depending on what's going on in my life. And then it becomes a chance to digest, to center, to rest, whatever you need. And so for me today, as I was reading to this, the line where you won't fit in with your body was what I was thinking about. I dealt with a lot of sort of anxiety this last year, as did so many of us. I went through some difficult life changes. And one of the things that was difficult for me was not being able to teach this last year. I've been a teacher for a while, and for a number of different reasons, I couldn't teach. Some health reasons, people I live with, stuff like that. And I didn't feel strong enough to teach very often. And that was what I always considered my ability in life, was my ability to be strong, to show up and to sort of do my best. And I couldn't this year at times. And that was frustrating, upsetting, depressing. But what I realized as I was sitting with this, reading this to you, is this became my space to be a teacher this year. I could do this at least. And that's when I came right back to the last line, you belong here. This was my space, this community, as we said at the start of our meeting. I might not have felt at home in my body throughout this last year, at home in my life at times, but I know I belong here by the end of this meditation. And that's a little gift of a meditation for me. So this is a nice technique. As with all these techniques, I'd invite you to use them on your own. I try to give 10, 12 minutes here They're best done 15 to 20 minutes, maybe on your own, even longer sessions. I encourage you to give that a try. Mantra meditations, great way to deepen your prayer and meditation life. And thank you for being here with me today. You belong here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.